What's happening, guys? It's Grizz, and I'm back with another episode of Kit Up, my weekly Battlefield series where you guys get to suggest and vote on weapon setups and loadouts you would like to see me use. Then I go out and get some gameplay with that setup and do a little review on it. So if you missed last week's episode featuring the MG4 light machine gun, you can go ahead and click the annotation right here to go back and check it out. So this week I am taking a suggestion from iBloxy, oh hello mang, who suggests the USA Spec Ops loadout, which consists of the M4 Carbine with the US hollow sight, laser sight, suppressor, and an angled grip. He goes on to suggest the M9 with a ghost ring for my sidearm, M320 high explosive grenade launcher, medkit, M67 frag, bayonet for my knife, and the Shadow Field upgrades. Ooh, sounds interesting. Finally, he says the goal for this class is simple: be stealthy. Use your sidearm when necessary, and it was necessary quite a few times. Breach buildings with the grenade launcher, and clear rooms with your frag grenade. So since this is a stealth class, I figured I'd play an objective-based game mode. So today you'll be seeing clips from a couple rounds of Rush that I played while using this kit. So thank you very much for the suggestion, Bloxy, and as always, how you suggest weapons and setups and things of that nature is by leaving me a comment on this video with your suggestion. Also, remember to upvote comments of setups you would like to see, and I will usually pick the highest voted one. But let's get on to talking about the M4 and being stealthy in Battlefield 4. If we take a look at the weapon chart from simthic.com, you'll notice that the M4 Carbine does a maximum damage of 25 and a minimum damage of 15.4. So it's got the high damage output in close, similar to an assault rifle, but at distance it dips down to PDW levels. So right away, I must tell you, you'll have to be careful of that. Its fire rate is a very modest 800 rounds per minute in 3-round burst and semi-automatic modes only. Magazine capacity is 30 rounds plus 1 in the chamber for a 31 total. And its reload times are 2.4 seconds when empty and 1.85 seconds while still containing a round in the chamber. So being that the M4 is the only burst fire only carbine, what should we compare it to? I guess we should compare it to the only other burst fire only weapon in the game, the M16A4. Makes sense, right? So the major differences between the M4 and the M16 are the bullet velocity and the bullet spread when firing from the hip. Both of these aren't exactly game-changing statistics, but I think they're still worth mentioning. So the differences here are where the M16A4 fires bullets at 650 meters per second, the M4 fires them only at 580 meters per second, resulting in you having to lead your targets a bit more if they're on the move. However, if you're running the suppressor like I was in this video, your bullet velocity is going to drop to around 320 meters per second on the M4 anyway, meaning you're really going to have to put a lead on those shots if you want them to connect. Always try and keep engagements to around 50 meters or less with the suppressed M4 if at all possible, and that's kind of the point of being stealthy here. Flank the enemies, get in close, and hopefully they won't know what hit them before it's far too late. Another area I noticed a significant difference in when comparing the M4 and M16 was the bullet spread values on hipfire. Surprisingly enough, the M4 definitely outshines the M16A4 in this category. Even when standing completely still, the M4 just has much less bullet spread when firing from the hip than the M16A4, and this is actually a lot more useful than you'd think. When you're in those close quarter situations with a burst fire rifle, you're not going to want to take that time to aim down sights, so having a weapon with less bullet spread when firing from the hip means that when you get into those those panic mode situations and you just start spraying at a guy from the hip, you can rest assured that the M4 more of your bullets will be landing on target, meaning that you just might come away with that panic mode kill more often than you would if you were using the M16. And that can be tied into the choice of running a laser sight on the M4 as well, which is going to give you an even better hipfire statistic as usual. So the other attachments that I haven't gone over yet are the hollow sight and the angled grip, both of which work beautifully together. The hollow sight offers a 1x zoom, which is not much, but it can come in handy when engaging enemies at a distance. Plus, the reticle on the hollow sight is one of the best in the game, in my opinion. Overall, it just offers a really clear, unobstructed view while also having that easy to use reticle. So the holosight gets a thumbs up for me for sure. And the angled grip is also an excellent choice on the M4 since it's a burst fire weapon. As I'm sure you all know by now, the angled grip helps reduce first shot recoil by 33%, making it probably the best choice for a burst fire weapon. Now let's move on to the rest of the kit, starting with the M9 pistol as the sidearm. And what a wonderful sidearm it is! I can't say enough good things about the M9. It's got that decent damage output and a decent magazine size, but I'm always pleasantly surprised at how well it, air quotes, finishes the job. I ran into a lot of situations where I had to pull out my sidearm while playing with the M4 suppressed. A lot of times I found myself either missing a few shots or something, then suddenly I'm out of ammo and the guy isn't dead yet. Well, that sort of thing is not so much of an issue if you've got the trusty M9 at your side. It really is a great finisher pistol. Usually you've damaged your enemy with your primary already, and with the M9 he'll go down usually one or two shots almost every time. Also, the M9 has a great hipfire statistic, so more often than not, you won't even have to aim down sights with this thing, which is all the more reason to stick with this guy as your sidearm in all situations. And the ghost ring obviously is just cool looking, so run it if you got it. The medic bag or med kit and the M320. Once again, I was asked to give up one of my favorites for the M320. You guys really like that thing, don't you? At least this time I was able to take my med kit with me instead of just the defibs. So I'm glad you chose the med kit, Bloxy, because I find it that much more useful than the defibs if I have to run with just one of the two. The M320, you guys know how I feel about it. I find it underpowered when using it against infantry, but that wasn't the point of taking it with me this time. The point was to use it to blow open walls and make alternate entrances to buildings for stealth purposes. And for that purpose it works really well. When you are trying to be stealthy in Battlefield 4, you've got to get creative sometimes because too many people know the usual routes. Sometimes getting it behind the enemy takes forging your own path, and the M320 definitely will help you knock down some walls and maybe get in behind those jamokes. So that is going to do it. It's going to bring us to the end of the review. To sum up my thoughts on this setup, I really enjoyed using the M4 with the suppressor. Being stealthy in Battlefield 4 can be difficult at times, but when you pull off an epic back rage or flank, the rewards are high. I really liked using the holosight as it gives you a nice clear view of everything and a slight amount of zoom, which is going to help with the medium range engagements. And the angled grip is going to help reduce the first shot recoil of the M4, making it easier to stay on target during sustained bursts. The M9 for the sidearm is a great choice for a finishing pistol with its good damage output, great hipfire statistic, and using the M320 to bust open walls and open up flank routes definitely has my seal of approval when it comes to being stealthy with this kit. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Kit Up featuring the M4 Carbine rifle. If you did enjoy the video or found it helpful at all, please remember to show it some love by clicking the like button down below. Make sure you leave me a comment on this video with your suggestion for next week's episode, and don't forget to vote for suggestions you would like to see by upvoting the comment, as it just makes it easier for me to know what you guys want to see. Thank you everybody who's been leaving suggestions. Please don't get discouraged if I haven't taken a suggestion from you yet, as I am getting quite a few now each week. I wish I could do them all, but I can't. So keep commenting and leaving your suggestions, guys. Also, if you're new around here, make sure you hit that subscribe button for lots more Battlefield content, as well as future episodes of Kit Up. And once again, I'd like to thank you very much for watching. My name is Grizno. See ya!